You know, in any career, there are the rules they tell you about, and then there are the invisible ones. The ones that don't show up in your job description, but let's be honest, they're the ones that really decide if you succeed or just struggle. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on those invisible rules and showing how a new wave of AI is basically giving us a cheat code to master them.
So, we're all taught that success is about the quality of our work, right? How good our code is, how sharp our reports are. But the biggest invisible role is this: your career isn't just defined by what you do, it's about how you navigate that incredibly complex web of people around you. Honestly, your real job is managing people. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? You feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions, just trying to keep everyone happy. The person who signs your paycheck wants one thing, your team that's actually building the thing needs something else, and the client? Oh, they have a totally different vision. It feels like this impossible, high-wire balancing act. Well, believe it or not, there's a formal name for this juggling act. It's called stakeholder management. The official definition talks about managing the expectations of anyone who has a stake in what you're doing. But really, it's the art and the science of getting people on the same page so you can actually get stuff done. And whatever you do, don't mistake this for just some fluffy, nice-to-have soft skill. As Morgan McKinley points out, when you get to the highest levels of strategy, this stuff is totally non-negotiable. Being effective means you have to handle people with ease, charm, and gravitas, basically with skill, with grace, and with some real authority. And this isn't just a problem for people in corner offices. Nope, this is a universal challenge. It plays out in completely different fields, from the halls of government all the way to your local school's classroom. Just look at these two completely different worlds. On the left, you've got the super dense government framework for public consultation in the UK. And on the right, a teacher in an Indonesian classroom. I mean, they look like they're worlds apart, but they're both wrestling with the exact same core challenge: getting different groups of people, whether it's policymakers and citizens or teachers and future employers, all pointed in the same direction. It's the same puzzle, just with different pieces. Seriously, the list is endless. It doesn't matter if you're working for the government, managing a construction site, leading a nonprofit, running a school, or trying to launch a new app. Your success always comes down to getting the right people on board and keeping them there. So, if this is so critical, how have we been handling it up until now? Well, the traditional approach, let's just say it's got some pretty major flaws. For decades, the gold standard has been something called the power/interest grid. You basically draw a box and you try to guess where people fit based on how much power you think they have and how interested they seem. It was a decent start, but in today's world, it's kind of like trying to navigate rush hour traffic with a paper map from 1985. It just doesn't keep up. And this is where the gap just becomes painfully obvious. The old way is a one-time snapshot, based on gut feelings and loaded with your own personal biases. But an AI-powered approach, it's continuous, it's data-driven, and it's predictive. We're talking about the difference between guessing and actually knowing. And here's the real problem. The old way leaves you totally exposed. People's opinions and influence change. The quiet engineer you ignored last week might be the person who syncs your project next month. These manual methods are just way too slow to catch those critical shifts before they become big problems. But this is where AI completely changes the game. It's like a massive intelligence upgrade, taking us from "I hope I've got this right" to "I know I've got this right." So AI stakeholder analysis isn't some kind of magic. It's just applying really powerful tech to a very, very human problem. It uses things like machine learning to analyze all the data we're already creating, our emails, our meeting notes, our documents, to build a living, breathing map of our professional world. So let's break that down. Natural language processing, or NLP, can literally read an email and tell you if the person sending it is getting frustrated or becoming more supportive. Network analysis looks at who's actually talking to whom to find the real influencers, not just the people with the fancy job titles. And predictive analytics, it can flag a relationship that's at risk before it blows up. And listen, this isn't just theory. The impact is real. A recent Gartner report found that using these kinds of AI tools can slash project delays caused by people problems by a massive 34%. 34%? That's a number that gets everyone's attention, no matter what business you're in. So that's great, but how does all this power actually get into the hands of someone like you or me? Well, that's where new tools come in, designed to be like a personal AI mentor for your career. Let's take a look at one of them, StakeholderGuru.com. StakeholderGuru really focuses on three main things. First, it helps you visualize your whole network so you can actually see who holds the real influence. Second, it gives you real-time AI coaching for those tough situations. You can think of it like having a mentor in your pocket, giving you a game plan right before that big, difficult meeting. And third, it helps you manage your time by suggesting who you need to talk to and when. And the process is designed to be super simple. You start with a dashboard that gives you that bird's eye view, then you map out who the key players are. When you run into a problem, the AI coach helps you build a solid action plan. And finally, you can see your entire network visualized, so you always know exactly where you stand. So what are real people saying? For Sarah, a senior project manager, it's all about having a mentor on call 24/7. She says it just takes all the guesswork out of navigating those really tricky moments at work. And for Marcus, a director of ops, the biggest win is just clarity. He said it perfectly. It turns influence mapping from this messy process into something visual, data-driven, and most importantly, actually useful. And then there's the feeling of just being burnt out. I think we can all relate to Alina, a product lead. She said the smart scheduling feature was a total game changer. It helped her get out from under a mounting of meetings and focus her energy where it would have the most impact. So the big takeaway here is pretty clear. We're moving away from the chaos of just guessing how to handle people, and we're moving toward the clarity of a data-driven strategy. The tools are finally here to help us stop guessing and start building the kind of influence we need to get really big things done. And that leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question to think about. If AI can actually help us lead better, influence smarter, and resolve conflict more effectively, what does that do to the very definition of what it means to be a leader? That's a future that's probably getting here a lot faster than any of us think.